everyone. All right, so this time we will have our new topic, which is about sandwiches. So in here, we will be tackling down about the different type of sandwiches. We also be tackling down the different ingredients used in sandwich making, also the different components of sandwich, as well as the different types of bread and all that, and a lot more about sandwiches. So again, our topic is about preparing sandwiches. And to begin with, let us define first sandwiches. So when we say sandwiches, this refers to a food item made with two or more slices of bread with fillings between them. So two or more slices of bread, slices of bread which can be considered as the structure or the base, and of course with fillings between them. That is what we call sandwiches. Now, a widely popular and convenient lunchtime food, quickly made and served and adaptable to many variations that it satisfies nearly every taste and nutrition requirement. Basically, if we do not have an available lunch, okay, no, so we can eat sandwiches, no, in lieu of what we call rice. So in other countries, they used to eat sandwiches over rice. So in our country, we preferred rice over sandwiches. Now, to continue, let us define sandwich. When we say sandwich, it is a filling or a spread combined with bread creates a sandwich. So from the bread, no, added with filling, added with spread, so that's totally make up what we call sandwich or sandwiches. Sandwiches are the most popular lunch food in the United States. No, their popularity as a breakfast food is increasing due to the ease of which they're eaten. So dahil madali siyang kainin, madali siyang i-prepare, no, dahil madaling mahanap ang mga ingredients niya, then madali siyang gawin. And in US, no, naging popular lunch food nila ang sandwiches. Now, sandwich is a food typically consisting of vegetables, sliced cheese or meat placed on or between slices of bread, or more generally any dish wherein two or more pieces of bread serve as container or wrapper for another food type. Now, when we say sandwich, magiging sandwich lang siya because of the presence of what we call vegetables, and there are a lot of vegetables that we can use to add, okay, to add with our sandwich, to add flavor, texture to our sandwich. Now we can make use of sliced cheese or meat, which can either be placed on top or in between, in the between of the slices of bread that we have. Generally, any dish wherein two or more pieces of bread serve as container, we can put it, we can store it in a container, we can wrap it, as part of the preparation or packaging of what we call sandwich. Now, let's talk about the brief history of sandwich. Originally, the term sandwich was applied to a thin slice of meat between the slices of bread and butter. Sandwich was first introduced around the 18th century, and all credit goes to Mr. Earl Sandwich, who was a gambler. So, it is said that the credit of inventing a sandwich goes to a famous gambler named Mr. Earl Sandwich. An assertive history of sandwich says that the cooks, John Montagu, also known as Lord's Sandwich of 18th century England, was not the inventor of the modern day sandwich. He did popularize it. However, in 1762, John Montagu, the fourth Earl of Sandwich, invented the meal that changed dining forever. So as the story goes, ito nangyari sa story or sa history ng sandwich. So from Earl Sandwich, which was a gambler. So, na-discover din ni John Montagu. Kinonsider siya as Lord Sandwich in 18th century in England. But John Montagu is not believed as the inventor of the modern day sandwich. Na-popularize lang niya yung sandwich kasi parang nag-invent siya ng meal that changed dining forever. So, nangyari ito when he was also gambling. When he was also playing cards and did not want to leave the gaming table to eat. Ayaw niyang umalis kasi baka matalo siya or what. So, instead, ang ginawa niya para makakain pa rin siya while playing cards, he asked for a serving of roast beef, na to be placed between two slices of bread. So, from then on, he could eat with his hands, habang nagsusugal siya. So, being a quiet gambler, this form of food allowed him to continue playing cards while eating. So, without getting his hands greasy. So, dito na nagsimula yung tinatawag nating sandwiches. Naging na kung saan naging meal na siya, and this particular sandwich changed dining forever. All right. Now let's talk about and let's move on to the types of sandwiches. Basically, 'di ba pag sinabi nating sandwiches, nakakain na tayo niyan eh. It can be an egg sandwich, it can be hotdog sandwich, hamburger, tuna sandwich, chicken sandwich, yung mga what they call that, clubhouse sandwich, and a lot more. So let's focus on the types of sandwiches. Ano nga ba itong tinatawag nating type of sandwiches? So basically, there are only two types of sandwiches. Alright? So number one is what we call cold sandwiches. The other one is what we call the hot sandwiches. Cold sandwiches, this type of sandwiches are being prepared without heating, without cooking, or it can be simply prepared, no, by chilling the ingredients, or by putting it in the refrigerator, just like that. In hot sandwich, this is the total opposite of cold sandwich, wherein we need to use griddle, we need to use oven, all right, we need to fry everything. So that's hot sandwiches. Under cold sandwiches, there are different or several types of cold sandwiches. And these are the following. We have the open face sandwiches, we have the regular cold sandwiches, the pinwheel sandwich, the tea sandwich, the multi-decker sandwiches, wrap or rolled sandwiches. Again, these are all the type of cold sandwiches. When we say hot sandwiches, these are the examples. We have the regular hot sandwiches, hot open face sandwich, grilled sandwich, deep fried sandwich, and lastly, the fried rolls, the focaccia, or the pita bread. Now, let's discuss first cold sandwiches. As you can see on the picture, this is the exact example of what we call cold sandwiches. Now, we have, of course, the fresh bread, okay, plus the fresh vegetables, then the fillings and all that. So cold sandwiches, number one in here is what we call the open face sandwich. Now, open sandwiches make use of one kind of bread with filling on top. That is why it is called open face sandwiches, because it only uses one piece, one kind of bread with, of course, filling on top. At wala na siyang other bread na nakapatong sa kanya. So the slices of white bread, no, you can use white bread, you can use biscuit, you can use cookies, you can use toast, no. Kung ayaw nyo ng plain white bread lang, you can use other base. Okay? Then it can be cut into squares, it can be cut into triangles, it can be cut into round, depende sa preferences ninyo. Butter is spread lightly on top, and pieces of cheese or meat fillings are arranged and garnished attractively, like that make use of biscuit, cookies, and toast instead of using bread, and like what you see in the given examples. So this is an open face sandwich. Naka-open lang siya. Ready to eat na. Now, we also have under cold sandwiches, the regular cold sandwiches. So these are the examples, no? Based on the picture, these are the examples of regular cold sandwiches. When we say regular cold sandwiches, a plain sandwich which is made up of 2 slices of bread, this time 2 slices of bread, preferably a day-old bread, wherein you can toast it, not pwede nyong i-toast if desired, and on which butter can be readily spread. Its crust may not or may not be removed. May remove and may not be removed yung crust niya. Depende sa gusto ninyo. Then, butter, mayonnaise, or prepared sandwich spread may be used as lining to prevent the bread from absorbing moisture from the filling. Moreover, it ensures that the bread and the filling will stick together. Basically, ayan talaga yung purpose ng butter or mayonnaise. As we all know, butter and mayonnaise, these are the moistening agent, or these are what we call the spread. And the purpose of the spread talaga is to prevent the bread from absorbing moisture from the filling. Also, it ensures that the bread and the filling will stick together. So that's the main purpose of what we call butter. So in regular cold sandwich or sandwiches, there are 2 slices of bread, plus of course the presence of the filling, and of course the spread. Now, we also have the pinwheel sandwiches. When we say pinwheel sandwiches, these are made of bread which is cut lengthwise, at about 3/8 inch thick. makapal-kapal. So French cream bread is preferable because they are easy to roll and will not crack. Definitely when we say cream bread, mas soft siya. Diba? We use actually in pinwheel sandwiches, we use our rolling pin no, to roll and to flatten, of course, our bread, our slices of bread, hanggang maging long slices siya. And then, spread bread and soften butter, di ba? Around the bread. And then, smooth. Lalagyan natin siya ng marmalade, cheese, pimiento, peanut butter, etc. Kung ano yung preferred na spread natin. And then, i-roll natin siya. But they do not have bulk and can be spread thinly pa rin. So, roll up bread like a jelly roll. And then, we slice it into the pinwheel sandwiches like what you see in the picture. So, para siyang, ang itsura niya is like parang yung pizza roll and also para siyang sa chicken naman para siyang yung chicken cordon bleu. But this time we use bread as our base and of course plus the filling and then we cut it or we slice it. Okay? So just like that. The pinwheel sandwiches. And then next is we have the tea sandwiches. So tea sandwiches are small fancy sandwiches made from light, delicate ingredients and bread that has been trimmed of crust. Ang tea sandwiches can be comparable or it can be compared to what we call canapes, no? Kasi when we say canapes, these are small bite-sized portion, right? So tea sandwiches also are small fancy sandwiches na gawa siya sa light, delicate ingredients na trinib yung mga sides niya o yung mga crust niya para soft lahat siya. And it may be made ahead of time. Pwede siyang ilagay sa freezer. They are often cut into fancy shape, pwedeng square, rectangle, oblongs, kung ano gusto natin. Then fillings and spread can be the same as those for canapes. Kung nilalagay natin sa canapes, then we can use also in making tea sandwiches. So examples are the given pictures. Alright? So these are the tea sandwiches. The next example of, or the next type of cold sandwiches is the multi-decker sandwiches. From the word multi, ito yung patong-patong, no, madami. These are made with more than 2 slices of bread or roll split into more than 2 pieces. And with, of course, several ingredients in the filling. So the club sandwich, yung famous na club sandwich that we eat, na kinakain natin, is a popular example of a multi-decker sandwich. No, pag sinabi natin club sandwich, multi-decker yan. No? It is made up of 3 slices of bread toast, no? Filled with sliced chicken, pwedeng mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, and bacon, and cut into 4 triangles. Hinihiwa-hiwa pa natin yan into triangle. Ayan. But then, these are all multi-decker. So, halimbawa, tinapay sa ilalim, nilagyan mo ng spread, nilagyan mo ng ham, nilagyan mo ng lettuce, nilagyan mo ng tinapay, nilagyan mo ng spread, nilagyan mo halimbawa ng chicken, nilagyan mo ng cheese, etc., nilagyan mo ng ham, nilagyan mo ng tomato, nilagyan mo ng kung ano. So that's multi-decker sandwiches. Another example of cold sandwich is the wrap or roll sandwich. Ayan, para siyang lumpia, no? Para siyang tawag dito, yung kinakain natin na you may beef, ayan. So, wraps are sandwiches in which the fillings are wrapped like a Mexican. Yan, yung mga burritos na yan. Ayan, mga tortilla na yan of similar flatbread. And they may be served whole or cut in half if large. So, yung parang kinakain natin lagi na yung binibili natin sa mall, di ba, na parang burritos siya. Alright? So, may palaman siya. Very manipis lang yung kanyang bread, no? Tapos niro-roll yung bread niya. Parang lumpia nga siya. Tapos cut into 2, slice into 2, cut in half, or pwedeng whole din siyang kainin. So that is wrap or roll sandwiches. Now, we're done with cold sandwiches. Now, let's proceed or move on to hot sandwiches. So, based on the given picture again, this is basically the example of what we call hot sandwiches. Now, as part of what we call example of hot sandwiches, we do have regular hot sandwiches, diba? Simple hot sandwiches consist of hot fillings, no? Usually meat, but sometimes fish, sometimes grilled vegetable or hard or other hot items. So, between 2 slices of bread. So, yung mga kinakain natin, like yung mga hotdog sandwich, no? Yung burger natin or hamburger natin, no? These are example of what we call regular hot sandwiches. Niluto muna yung filling niya, mainit yung filling niya, ayan, tapos ipinalaman or inilagay sa bread, no? Tapos iniluto ulit si bread, nilagay sa oven or sa griddle, that's regular hot sandwiches. Now, if we have an open face sandwich for cold sandwich, we also have hot open face sandwich. Napakadali lang, no? Open face sandwich are made by placing buttered or unbuttered bread on a serving plate, covering it with hot meat, no? O kunyari, meron kang unbuttered or buttered tinapay, tapos nilagyan mo siya ng hot meat na as filling and topping na may sauce, may gravy, may cheese, or other topping. So, since mainit yung filling na nilagay mo at open face siya, in eating this hot open face sandwich, it is advisable to use knife and fork kasi mainit siya. So, that's it. Now, third is the grilled sandwiches. When we say grilled sandwiches, this is also called toasted sandwiches, no? Yung pinaka-example ng grilled sandwiches is toasted sandwiches. So when we say toasted sandwiches, these are buttered on the outside, no, and browned on the griddle in hot oven or in sometimes panini grill. So in short, nagiging brown siya because brinash natin siya ng butter. And then before we place the tinapay or the sandwich in the griddle or hot oven. So yun yung nakapagpa-brown sa kanya. Okay? So yung mga nakikita nyo yan, ayan, di ba may sign, may mga guit-guit na yan, sign na nilagay siya sa griddle or grilling pan or panini grill or hot oven. So that's grilled sandwiches. Then we also have what we call deep fried sandwiches under hot sandwich. When we say deep fried, of course, we use oil. And yung method of cooking is deep frying. So deep fried sandwiches are made by dipping sandwiches in a beaten egg first. No, dinip muna sa beaten egg. And sometimes in breadcrumbs and then deep fried. Okay, so example here ay yung mga nakikita nyo. Plus also, yung katulad ng binanggit ko rin kanina, which can also be considered as hot sandwich under deep fried sandwiches, 'di ba? Yung pizza roll, 'di ba? We roll it first, no? Then pag na-roll na natin, we dip the bread in a beaten egg plus the breadcrumbs, tapos pina-fry natin. Though we can also bake it, no, deep fry sandwiches. Another example are those sandwiches you can buy, you can found in um, um, 7-Eleven or mini-stop like the Kariman. So those are example of what we call deep fried sandwiches. Also yung mga Monte Cristo plus what we call yung mga French toast. Ayan, those are deep fried sandwiches. Next, we have filled roast, focaccia, or pita bread. So, pare-paras lang to kasi these are all yung mga maninipis na bread, no? Thinly sliced bread. So, flavored bread served with dips like quesadillas and burritos. So, may mga filling siya plus of course yung manipis na pita bread niya. So, yung quesadillas can be found, di ba? We can buy this, no, sa mga malls or sa mga restaurant like yung mga milk tea shops plus the burritos as well. So, madali siyang makita. Very thinly sliced na bread or pita bread and then with fillings. Now, we're done with the types of sandwiches like cold sandwiches and hot sandwiches. This time, let's discuss the basic components of sandwich. So what compose the sandwich? So basically, we have, of course, the structure or what we call base. Another term is base. The structure or base is the part upon which the ingredients are placed, consists of some form of bread or dough produced that is whole or sliced. So, in short, when we say structure or base, this is what we call the bread. All right? The bread is the basic ingredients of any sandwich. Now, use the freshest bread available. Ayan. A day-old bread can be used for toasting without loss of quality. So again, when we say the structure or base, this refer to the bread. And then the bread is the basic ingredients of any sandwich. We cannot create a sandwich without the presence of bread. So please use the freshest bread available. No, a day-old bread can be used for toasting without loss of quality. Okay, so that's it. The next component of of sandwich is what we call the moistening agent. When we say moistening agent, the purpose is the purpose of this is to bind the sandwich, providing an improvement of both flavor and texture. So aside from binding the sandwich, it also adds flavor and texture to the sandwich. So it acts as the protective layer between the filling and the structure, preventing the filling from softening or wetting the bread. So a while ago, I already mentioned the main purpose of what we call moistening agent or the spread. Now, the spread has three functions. First, to prevent the bread from soaking up the filling, di ba? Yung mga katas na manggagaling sa filling, tas maa-absorb ng bread, ang nakakatulong doon to prevent from soaking up is what we call the spread. Another function is to add flavor, and lastly, to add moistness. So, para hindi dry yung sandwich na kinakain natin. Now, we can use, in terms of spread, we can use the butter, we can use mayonnaise, which are the most commonly used spread. Alright? Next, the third component of what we call sandwich is what the filling, no? The filling. It consists of one or more ingredients that are stacked, layered, or folded within or on the structure to form the sandwich. So, may structure, may base, no? Followed by the spread, no? Tapos with filling, tapos patong-patong lang niya to form the sandwich. The varieties of filling should be carefully selected. No? Dapat maayos din tayo, piliin din nating mabuti. Dapat yung mga fillings natin magko-complement din. Okay? Sa isa't isa. So, the filling can be hot or cold, no? Pwede yan. And it comes in any form. Pwedeng cook, no? Pwede siyang cured meat. It can also be fruit. It can also be vegetable, salad, or combination of any of them. Make sure that when we combine any of them, no, kailangan complement siya. The filling provides the main flavor of the sandwich. No? And the choices are nearly unlimited. So we can make use of meat, we can make use of fish, poultry, cheese, egg, salads. We can also use tuna, chicken, egg. These are all common protein fillings. No? Now, again, going back to the components of sandwich, basically we have the structure or the base, which is the bread. We can also have, of course, the moistening agent, which is the spread, and of course we have the filling, which are the common protein fillings. No, iba't iba yan. All right. Now, to discuss further, this is an illustration of what we call the components of sandwich. Now, we have, of course, the base, which is the bread, the filling, which can be the tomato, the vegetables, the onions, then the lettuce, plus the yung protein-rich food or yung pinaka-meat niya. And then we do have the moistening agent or the spread. Another example, no, another given picture is, of course, part pa din ng component ng sandwich. Ayan, pinakita dyan. We do have the sandwich bread plus the sandwich spread and then the sandwich filling. And we can add, no, yung mga sandwich side dish. We can add coleslaw, we can add salad, we can add French fries for our sandwich, no? That completes our sandwich. And then another example, no, as part of the composition of bread is this. No, para mas makita ninyong mabuti. We have, of course, the bread, the structure. We do have the fillings, no, the vegetables, and of course, the spread. All right. Now, we're done with the components or the basic components of sandwiches. Let's now move on. Let's now proceed to the types of bread. Ayan. So, ang daming types ng bread na makikita natin, no, sa mga pastry shops, sa mga bakeries, and all that. So, when we say types of bread, iba-iba yan. We have the yeast bread, no? We have the buns and rolls. Ayan. So, and a lot more. Marami pang iba. So, let's discuss first. The number one type of bread is the yeast bread. From the word yeast, ginamitan siya ng yeast or what we call leavening agent. This is a natural leavening agent. So, yeast bread, these are loaf bread, which is most common used bread for sandwiches. Pag sinabing yeast bread, present agad ang loaf bread yan. And loaf bread, this is the most common used bread for sandwiches. And when we talk about yeast bread, there are examples of yeast bread. Number one, of course, is what we call white bread, which is very famous, which is very popular. Okay? When we say white bread, these are long rectangular loaves that provide square slices. Ito yung mga nabibili lagi natin sa bakery, mga tinatawag nating tasty. Na, mga gardenia na yan, tasty bread na yan, etc. White bread siya. Another example of yeast bread is the whole wheat bread. So, the whole wheat bread is medyo different, no, in terms of color kasi medyo brown to. Whole wheat bread is a classic bread, okay, for sandwiches. And it is more nutritionally superior than white bread. taste better than white bread, and have more interesting textures than white bread, and slightly more compact and brownish in color. But they are both yeast bread. All right. Another example of yeast bread is what we call rye bread. This is from rye, no? Kung kanina ay parang whole wheat flour, this one is from rye flour. Okay? Now, it is a stronger tasting bread, medyo may lasa siya, than white and whole wheat, a heavy and hearty flavor bread that goes with so many types of meat and condiments. So, kahit medyo matapang-tapang yung amoy niya, I mean yung taste niya, nagka-complement siya sa iba't ibang meat or condiments na pwede natin gamitin in sandwich making. So again, these three are example of what we call yeast bread. We have the white bread, we have the whole wheat bread, plus rye bread. Alright? Na ginamitan siya ng leavening agent since these are under what we call yeast bread. The next type of bread that we can use in making sandwiches is of course buns and rolls. Ito very famous sa atin to. Pag sinabi nating buns, 'di ba? Ito yung mga binibili natin like mga Monay, kilala natin sa Monay na yan. Ayan. When we say buns and roll, number one dyan ay yung sandwich rolls. Pag when we say sandwich rolls po, this comes in all sizes, shapes, and textures. The softest include hamburger buns and hot dog rolls. So basically, pag when we say buns and roll, best example dyan is the one that we use in making hamburger, that is buns, and the one that we use in making hot dog sandwiches, that is hot dog rolls. Okay, another example of buns and rolls is the one we can buy in French baker, right? So when we have French and Italian bread. So the one when we say French, these are rolls including sardo and ciabatta, no, split horizontally, mahaba-haba siya. It works well for grilled sandwiches. So, halimbawa, you are planning to make grilled sandwiches, no, and you will use griddle, you can have this one. You can have this French and Italian bread, no? Mahaba-haba siya. So, I am using French bread, no? Itong mahaba-habang bread na to, in making garlic bread, no? Which is a complement or a partner of what we call carbonara. So, French and Italian bread can be used in grilled sandwiches. Another example of bread or type of bread are flat bread. So, from the word flat, these are made from flatten, often unleavened bread. So, unleavened bread siya. Opposite siya ng yeast bread. Ang yeast bread, ginamitan natin ng leaveners. Ginamitan natin ng yeast. However, itong flat breads na to, wala siyang leaveners. Unleavened siya. Wala siyang baking powder, walang baking soda, walang yeast. Kaya flat na flat siya. Hindi siya umalsa. Alright? Flatten siya. It comes, so number one example of flatbread is the pita. No? Comes in both white and whole wheat. No? Pwedeng gawa siya sa white or whole wheat. As the flatbread bakes, it pops up. Pumuputok-putok yan. No? Forming a pocket that is perfectly for stuffing. So nagkakabutas-butas siya as shown in the given picture, in the given example. And then perfect siya for stuffing or for fillings. Now, another example of flatbread is the focaccia. So, a while ago, di ba, sinabi natin mga, yung mga rolls, no, kasama doon yung focaccia. So, flat Italian bread, this is considered as cousin of pizza kasi it looks like pizza, 'di ba? An inch or more thick, no? And very rich in olive oil kasi one of the ingredients in making focaccia is of course the presence of olive oil. So it is sold by whole and cut into squares, split and filled. Now, if you wanted to make, let's say, an open sandwich out of focaccia bread, then you can have it as well. Parang gumawa ka na rin ng pizza. Alright? Then we do have lavash. A lavash is a small and rectangular. When softened in water, it can be rolled around as stuffing to make pinwheel-shaped sandwich. So, a lavash, parang ito yung material, ito yung bread na ginagamit in making pinwheel sandwich. Kasi madali siyang i-roll, no? Especially when softened in water. So, again, para siyang para siyang lumpia wrapper. Makapal-kapal lang konti sa lumpia wrapper. Para rin siyang ginagamit sa paggawa ng shawarma. So, a lavash. Lavash ang tawag doon. Okay? So, basically, yung lavash bread is used in making pinwheel type of bread. And we all know kanina sa discussion natin, a pinwheel is a type of cold sandwiches na niro-roll siya, pina-flatten, niro-roll, and ini-slice na parang naging pinwheel ang style niya. Then we do have tortillas as an example of flat bread as well. no? Unleavened round cornmeal ang ginamit naman dito, corn flour, no? Bake on hot stone, around 6 inches to 14 inches larger. Ayan. And preferably, ito naman yung ginagamit in making quesadillas and burritos. So, another example kanina sa hot sandwiches, yung quesadillas and burritos, right? Narinig natin yun kanina. So, in making quesadillas and burritos, we can make use of tortillas na flatbread. Alright? Next. Another type of bread is what we call wraps. Ayan. So, just like parang mga flat bread din to, no? Nira-wrap, no? Binabalot, no? So, best example is tortillas. So, na-mention ko kanina, it is made up from unleavened round cornmeal bread, tapos 6-inch to 14-inch, tapos iniro-roll siya, just like in making quesadillas and burritos. Another example of wrap naman ay yung tinatawag nating sandwich wrap. Ayan. So, katulad ng shawarma, no? Pwede siyang gawing para siyang sandwich wrap na din, no? Binalot lang siya na parang fresh lumpia, something like that. That is already sandwich wrap. And then lastly, we have, from the type of bread, we do have quick breads. So when we say quick bread, these are breads raised by chemical action. Chemical action kasi nilagyan na siya ng mga leavening agents. When we say leavening agents, mga pampaalsa or mga leaveners. And these are the baking powder or the baking soda. So yung mga biscuits, banana bread, carrot bread are what we call quick breads or under quick bread na siya. So generally, no, pag kinumpare natin siya sa yeast bread, no, these are more tender, crumbly than yeast bread. It is used for sweeter tasting sandwiches. Kung gusto mo na medyo may lasa-lasa yung sandwich mo, matamis-tamis kunwari, something like that, then you can have quick bread. You can make use of quick bread. Or sometimes, no, best din siya for tea sandwiches or for coffee kasi may lasa na siya. Again, so those are the types of what we call bread that we can use, no, na pwede nating pagpilian when we are making sandwiches. So, nasa atin na yon whether what type of bread ang gagamitin natin. Okay? Now, let's move on to the ingredients used for sandwiches. So, kanina pa natin nadadaanan, kanina ko pa nababanggit na during the discussion or as we discuss the sandwiches, na mention ko na what are the different ingredients. So, basically, no, andyan sa picture na binigay ko, we can use yung tomato, yung onions, yan, mga lettuce na yan, bread, cucumber, cheese, yan, black pepper, ham. These are an example or these are rather an ingredients or ingredients used for sandwich making. So, let's discuss one by one. Again, sabi nga natin, we cannot make, di ba, sandwich without the presence of bread. So, bread, good quality breads provide variety, no? Texture, taste, bulk, nutrients, and eye appeal to sandwiches. So, sabi nga natin, fresh bread is easier to slice or cut if it has been chilled. That is why it is important that you choose the freshest bread available in the market. Alright? That's bread. So, we can make use of roast, we can make use of white bread, pwede tayong gumamit ng whole wheat bread, ng rye bread, and other types of bread that we already discussed. Now, in terms of meat, ayan, iba-iba. Pwede tayong gumamit ng beef, meat ng beef, pork, sausages, no? Products like mga ham, roast, beef, and salami. So, preference na natin. Kung ano yung preferred meat natin na inalalagay as filling, bahala tayo. Nasa atin din yon. Aside from meat, we can also use poultry. We can make use of chicken breast or turkey breast. Ayan, masarap din yan, lalo pag nalagyan na ng spread or vegetables. Then, other than meat and poultry, we can also use fish and shellfish. And what are those? It can be tuna. We can make use of sardines, a grilled and fried fish fillet. We can also make use of crab meat plus the shrimp, no? And these are highly perishable. So, kailangan, since highly perishable siya, madali siyang masira, they should be kept chilled, no, to maintain its quality. Tandaan niyo po yan. Other than that, we also have cheese, no? Ngayon, marami na tayong mga type of cheeses na nabibili sa mga groceries. No? Most popular sandwich cheese, you can have cheddar cheese, processed cheese, cream cheese, cheese spreads, and most are easily sliced, no? Firm texture, and this cheese act as binder, no? this act as moistener of other ingredients, no? And it should be refrigerated and remain covered until ready to serve to avoid drying out. If you notice, pag na-expose na yung cheese, no, in a room temperature na hindi natin siya tinakpan or hindi natin siya nilagay sa kanyang packaging, ang tendency nagda-dry agad siya. So after using it, make sure na na-refrigerate natin. And then if we have cheese, we also have spread. Now, mayonnaise, mustard, butter, no? Again, just like cheese, it moistens the bread and complements with the flavors of other ingredients. Again, katulad din ng cheese, excuse me, they should be served immediately and kept refrigerated to preserve, again, its color and flavor. Alright? So, kung ano may gagamitin nyo dyan, we need to refrigerate it agad-agad. Now, we also have condiments. So, other than cheese, other than spread, we can make use of olive oils, mga radishes, like mga yung chutneys, ayan, pickled relish. It gives a lift to a sandwich, no? Nagbibigay din siya ng flavor, ng lasa. Pero pag maasim na ginamit mong condiments, do not combine again with the strong flavored condiments. Nonetheless, hindi na magiging masarap yung ating sandwich. And then if we have condiments, we do have vegetables then. Okay? So when we say vegetable, this should be crisp, no? And proportion to the size of sandwich. Kaya nga, di ba, sometimes, kunyari, gumamit ka ng lettuce, binababad muna natin siya sa ice cold water to maintain its crispiness, no? And sometimes, kapag gagamit ka ng mga yan, like yung lettuce, tomato, onions, it should be proportion to the size of sandwich. Huwag yung lumalagpas sa tinapay mo kasi pangit siya tingnan. No? Lettuce, tomatoes, and onions, as you can see in the given picture, these are indispensable in sandwich making, present tan lagi. It adds texture, it adds flavor, and of course, color to the sandwich. No? Di bali nang wala yung ibang vegetable, basta at least present yung mga yan, okay na yung sandwich natin. And then next, we have the miscellaneous. O, ito yung mga karagdagan lang, mga optional lang, kumbaga. So, we can also use dry jelly, mga fruit fresh, dry jelly, jam, mga peanut butter, eggs, nuts, no? Kung gusto natin dagdagan pa yung flavor and color plus texture ng sandwich production natin. So, provided na dapat, again, nagka-complement at masarap pa rin siya tikman or lasa. Now, balikan lang natin ulit, fillings and spread for sandwiches. Sandwich fillings, sabi natin, this is the heart of the sandwich, no? It is placed in between or on top of the bread, which provides flavor and body to the sandwich. So, in terms of filling, we have dry fillings and moist fillings. Dry fillings, these refer to sandwiches or ingredients like sliced or cooked meat, no, poultry and cheese. Parang ganito lang yan. May tinapay ka, may buns ka, tapos may burger patty ka, ginawa mo sandwich, walang other added ingredients. So, that's dry fillings. But then, pag nilagyan mo na siya ng mga salad dressing or mayonnaise or moist fillings, ayun, may buhay na siya. So, dry fillings and moist fillings are the two types of fillings. Now, here are possible fillings that you may use separately or in combination. Pwedeng separate natin to, pwedeng combination. So, these are just suggestion. In terms of the meat and poultry, meat used as fillings daw should be cooked. Definitely. Diba? Lulutuin talaga. Covered and then refrigerated. Sliced just before the sandwich is to be prepared to avoid drying out and lose flavor. So, thinly sliced meats are more tender. So, dapat thinly sliced meat lang siya, not thickly sliced meat. Kasi, it is more tender pag thinly sliced, no? Now, here are the suggested possible fillings, alright? So, we can use beef products. And what are those? We can use sliced roast beef, hamburger patties, steaks, mga corned beef, ayan, mga beef products yan. Pag sinabi namang pork products, andyan yung roast pork, present ang barbecue pork, ham, of course, bacon. When we say poultry, dalawa lang yan, turkey breast, chicken breast. And when we say sausage products, these are salami, bologna, luncheon meat, ayan, grilled sausages, etc. Okay, so pwede na kayong pumili ng fillings dito. Ayan, binalik lang dito, no, yung use ng cheese, sandwich cheeses, fish and shellfish, which are already mentioned in our discussion kanina, plus the seafood fillings, wherein we can make use of tuna, sardines, smoked salmon, shrimp, etc. In terms of mayonnaise-based salad, pwede tayong gumawa ng tuna salad, egg salad, chicken or turkey salad, and ham salad, kasi mayonnaise-based salad siya. Diba? Plus vegetable items, katulad ng nabanggit, indispensable ang lettuce, tomato, and onion sa sandwich production. In terms of the miscellaneous, nabanggit na rin yan, dry jelly, peanut butter, which are all optional. And these are the most popular sandwich fillings combination. Ayan, yung talagang complement siya sa isa't isa. Chicken salad, egg and cheese, chicken and bacon, lettuce and tomato, and a lot more. Ang daming nakalagay dyan. Alright? So, pagdating naman sa spread, ayan, nabanggit ko na rin to kanina, the purpose of spread to protect the bread from soaking up moisture from the filling, 'di ba? They add flavor, they also add moisture. Ayan, so one of the common spread are butter and mayonnaise. All right? So these are all the content of what we called sandwich making or sandwiches, wherein we learned about the definition of sandwich. We also learned about the short or the brief history of sandwiches, plus the type of sandwiches, plus the component of sandwiches, plus the different types of bread that we can use in sandwich making, plus of course the different fillings no, that we can also use in making sandwiches. So once again, I hope you learned something from our discussion tonight. Thank you for listening and God bless us all until our next topic and our next discussion. God bless everyone. Mabuhay tayo lahat.